So welcome again to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Hugo Breton. I'm a senior partner at Action Coach Halton, and today I'm here with Brenda McKinley, the broker of record of Realty World Legacy. And thank you so much, Brenda, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So today we're going to be talking about your business, your journey into business ownership, and what are some challenges and learnings that you've had along the way, and share a peek into what it's really to like to build and operate a business. Now, for all of you watching, if this is your first time on the channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop new conversations just like this one. So Brenda, welcome and thank you for being here. Um, I would love to learn more about your business and your journey as a business owner. So tell us a little bit about your story.
Okay, so I have a long history working in and around the real estate industry. I I started out working for real estate lawyers and accountants who were real estate investors. Um, I've worked for a few brokerages. I spent a number of years negotiating union contracts, so really good with contract language.
Hmm.
Um, My husband and I have bought many houses, and in our early years, we didn't always feel that our best interests were being served. So, as time went on, I became the person in our circle of friends that people would approach when they were planning on buying or selling or investing in real estate, buying new construction, all of those things. I was a bit of a resource for them, and my goal was to get my real estate license. Things happen. They don't always happen as quickly as you'd like them to, but in and around 2000, I finally registered for the real estate courses and got my license, and um, it's been great since then.
Hmm.
Started with one of the large local brands, and after 10 or 11 years of growing, and I realized I had sort of outgrown their ability to help me, and I moved down into another brand that was just starting in Burlington, which is where I am. I became a shareholder there and the broker of record, and again outgrew it eventually, and then opened my own office here. We started under a different franchise name, and last year, we moved to Realty World, and we are currently the only Realty World office in Canada.
Okay.
They're a global franchise. They're all through the States. They're in Europe. They're in the Caribbean, all of that. But we are the only ones right now,
Oh.
and we're looking to grow.
So a couple of questions on that, because I know that um, making that jump and starting on your own was probably a big jump. So I guess two questions. What, when you've said that you outgrew the office that you were part of before, what did that look like? Like what do you feel you needed to go into your own? And then I guess the second one is why a franchise and why did you choose that particular franchise?
Okay. So I outgrew the other office, just teams and large business models were relatively new to the industry at that time, and uh, the broker and the training department of that office weren't really equipped to give me the tools I needed to grow my business. And they weren't sort of equipped to support the business that I wanted to have, I felt at the time. So then when I moved to the other model, same sort of thing. I kind of outgrew what was available there, and it was a real tough decision for me whether to open my own independent brokerage or whether to go the franchise route. And because I'm not a big believer in reinventing the wheel, the franchise route seemed to make sense. But I sort of gradually moved into it. So right now we're completely independent. We have a separate company that manages our transaction processing. We have a third party company that does our agent coaching,
Mhm.
and we do our in-house coaching on technology and on things like industry changes and like I'm not sure if you're aware, last December, a lot of things changed in the way that we can represent potential real estate clients. So
Mhm.
um, we all spent months creating training surrounding that so that our agents were really comfortable.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, uh, Delegating and finding those partners is something that's at times complicated for business owners.
Hmm.
So how did you decide what to keep within your firm and where to get partners for these couple areas that you were discussing?
Sure, sure. I have a good team here. I have Anthony Mason, who is my director of growth. He is one of my leading agents as well. And he is amazing with outreach. He knows a lot of people. He he has developed some connections with um, uh, island properties. So people that are looking to invest in, say, Punta Cana can come to us, get all the lowdown on those properties, and we can help them make purchases there. Right. We're also looking, one of our other agents has brought us an opportunity in Mexico where we can reach out to local builders and help local residents find the right property there, connect them with reputable realtors and lawyers and that kind of thing
Mhm.
offshore. Um, Victoria is also one of my partners here, and she is excellent with technology, with coaching our agents on how to use our CRM and that kind of thing. She does quite a bit of the recruiting here and a lot of the social media. And we only have so many hours in the day as business operators.
Yeah.
So we found that some things were falling by the wayside, which is why we hired the third party coaching company. And they have um, a really well structured coaching organization. They pick a topic every week. This week it might be open houses. Next week it might be um, uh, negotiating offers, can be many different things. And they spend an hour and a half a day with our agents going through the different aspects of the topic for the week.
Okay. That's fantastic.
Mhm.
And is that something common in the industry or something different that you're doing?
No, most brokerages do their own in-house training,
Okay.
um, and it's it's not always as fulsome. The people that are doing our training are specialists in their field, and they're following a well thought out curriculum.
Mhm.
So every day leads into the next day, and we're thrilled to be associated with them.
Okay. You mentioned growth, so I wanted to, and I know that your industry is, very competitive. So I
Mhm.
wanted to know what are the marketing strategies that you're using?
For for our agent growth,
Yeah.
or
Uh-huh.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So actually, we have been doing a lot of things through our own efforts, our own social media posts, and we just did the large trade show at the Toronto Real Estate Board. There were approximately 10,000 people that went through that trade show, and we had a booth there and a TV screen and lots of materials to hand out, and made some fabulous connections with people there. And we have recently hired a social media marketing company that is helping us kind of confirm our messaging to
Mhm.
people.
Okay. And those are your main, like just the outreach, because you mentioned outreach and then social media. Are those like the key marketing strategies?
Really, yeah. I mean, we participate in a lot of the meetings at our local real estate boards. I was on the board of directors at our local board for a few years, um, that kind of thing. There's a lot to be said for having been in the industry a long time and having a pretty decent reputation.
Hmm. So we talked a little bit about the business, but I wanted to go back to maybe that, the path 2010, 2000, um, um, 11 that you were mentioning, but when you got started or looking back at starting the business on your own, what are some of the most memorable challenges or roadblocks that you faced?
In starting the brokerage or starting in real estate?
Starting your brokerage. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, one of the things that I think worries most people about starting a brokerage is things like managing the trust accounts and facilitating the transactions and, all the closings and those kinds of things. Because that, if you're doing it wrong, it can be expensive and it can be a real time suck. You know, it's just one of those things that makes people nervous.
Hmm. Okay. So a lot of the more on the operation side and getting the transactions right.
Hmm. Hmm. Because by the time you're at a point of becoming a broker, owning your own business, you're already really good with dealing with people. You typically have a large client base. You're doing usually quite a number of transactions a year, so that you have the expertise to coach people along,
Hmm.
right?
Okay. And on coaching, I wanted to ask, how would you describe your style of leadership and has it changed over time?
Um, yeah, I think it has changed. When I first started in real estate and in my first few years, I just assumed that everybody could figure it out, that it was no big deal. And you had to remember that your interactions with clients were just conversations, and you had a list of answers to questions that you wanted to get when you were meeting with people. And I've realized that not everybody sees it that way. So I have to kind of remind people of the information that's important if you're considering representing somebody, the sorts of questions you want to ask. And a lot of agents feel that maybe some of those questions are intrusive or none of our business.
Hmm.
Um, but things like, how much is your current mortgage? How much did you pay for your house? How long have you lived there? Why is it that you want to move to your next place? All of those are important questions
Hmm.
as you're going through a relationship with your buyer or your seller.
Hmm. Oh. And you mentioned your recruiting process, but what are some of the key characteristics that you're looking for in agents that join your brokerage?
Okay. And that's key, because we have in the past had agents, we brought people on board and found out that they weren't a good fit for us.
Hmm.
So um, we are, how can I describe it? We are your average everyday realtor. We're not the luxury brand. We're not the big shot that's doing, 300 transactions a year and maybe doesn't have time to speak to their clients. We're we're working with our neighbors, we're working with our family, we're working with our friends. Um, we generally work with people that have the same sort of interests as we have. Um, we want people in the brokerage that feel that same way about their clients. And we're a little bit different from the perspective of how collaborative we are as a brokerage. So it's all of our agents are free to advertise each other's listings. All of our agents will help each other out doing open houses. If somebody's having an issue with a transaction or um, not really relating to the client the way they'd like to, then all of our agents will help. We'll make suggestions. We'll try and kind of smooth the road a little bit.
Mhm.
We're we're not that brokerage where everybody's business is their own and it's a big secret, right?
Yeah.
We share.
Okay. And you started alluding, but I know that customer services, you were telling me, is very critical in the industry, but you put a specific angle on it. So, how do you try to distinguish your firm from the rest of the market?
Well, a lot of that is that collaborative aspect of things. Um, we we make every possible effort to get to know our clients and what's important to them. So, for instance, if I have someone who's moving into a retirement residence, chances are it's important for them for it to be an effortless transition, right? So they would want to be connected with some of my downsizing specialists who will move in, help them dispose of the things they can't take, pack everything up, put it in the new place, set up the kitchen, all of those things so that Mrs. Smith or Mr. Smith can just walk in at the end of the day and just put everything but suppers in the stove, right?
Hmm.
So the bed's made and everything's all organized. Whereas other people, the the timing is more important, or the money is more important, or um, the um, many different things can be important to clients, and we do the best we can to figure out what that is and make it as smooth a road as possible.
Okay. Um, Going back to what you look in the team and kind of the values, you mentioned before we started the call about ethics and your industry. Um, Tell me more about that and how do you keep the team aligned so they're always making the right decisions.
Well, again, we're a little bit different from other brokerages in that everyone in this office has my cell phone number, and they also have my office manager's cell phone number. So if it's Saturday night and they're working on a transaction and they are having some difficulty putting the right wording together or that sort of thing, they'll give me a call and I will go online and help them create language for whatever condition they're trying to put in or to um, to achieve whatever outcome they're trying to achieve. Right. As I say, we spend a lot of time with training on the changes to the real estate regulations. I was on the Real Estate Council of Ontario's Discipline and Appeals Committee for a number of years. So it's really important to me that my agents understand what the rules are.
Hmm.
If there's a client that's asking us to do something or maybe not disclose something that would be a violation of the rules, unless we can convince that client otherwise, we can't take them on. We won't take them on.
Hmm. Oh, okay. So tough decisions, but that ensures that you're keeping those ethics and standards
Yeah,
for the firm. Okay.
for sure.
Um, so looking forward, I wanted to ask, where do you see the business in the next 3 to 5 years? Like, what's your vision for the next few years?
So I think, and we've seen a little bit of this in the past year. I think we're going to see some agents dropping out of the business. I think that uh, some agents that came into the business when the market was really hot aren't ready for the negotiation, the back and forth, the length of time it's going to take for listings to sell, that kind of thing. So some people are going to go back to their other careers. And I think we're going to see a gradual increase in pricing, but very gradual. And they say that we're going to have a few more drops in the interest rates. So, but they'll be few and far between. So it's not going to cause a big jump in market prices.
Mm, mhm. Okay. Okay. Now, as we begin to wrap up, I wanted to ask you a few rapid fire questions, almost, you know, 1 or 2 words for each. First off, what is the key to success for you?
Hard work, fairness.
Okay. What is one piece of advice for other business owners that maybe we haven't discussed so far?
Focus. It's really difficult to keep your eye on the ball.
Okay. Yeah. And that's a word that I've heard once or twice in this interview. So yeah.
I bet.
Is there any book that you're reading or read recently that you would recommend the audience?
So, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, that has always been a good book for the real estate industry.
Mhm.
There's another book, Fanatical Prospecting. It's not real estate related, but it is sort of commission sales related. It's a good book as well.
Okay, excellent. Thanks. And if you had to choose only one area of your business that you could immediately improve tomorrow, what would it be?
Really, for me, I think it would be the recruiting piece.
Okay. And why is that? What are some of the challenges in that area?
There's a lot of competition out there for agents,
Mhm.
um, and we're a little bit selective too. So
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, got it. Correct. Now, when we share this, we'll share this with your website, your social media, but is there a particular channel or way that people should get in contact with you or learn more about your firm?
Sure. So they can go to the Realty World Legacy.ca website,
Mhm.
or they can email me directly, Brenda at realtyworldlegacy.ca.
Okay, excellent. Perfect. So Brenda, thank you again so much for your time and sharing your journey and advice for other business owners. And as we shared your information, so we're looking forward to learning more about your business and transactions coming up. So thanks again.
Super. My pleasure.